Donkey Kong Bananza, a world of limitless potential for destruction and construction? Or is it? I've been testing out a lot of this game's engine, finding out where the true limits are and what else they've given us in this game's playground. And I've found out some cool things along the way. So, in today's video, I'm going to go over what I found and explain to the best of my ability what I'm seeing. So, sit back, relax, eat a banana, and let's barrel blast our way right into this video. Starting off with the core feature, destruction. As we all know, Donkey Kong has the ability to destroy terrain and other things in multiple different ways, using various forms, abilities, and items. Donkey Kong's world is similar to something like Minecraft. So there are multiple materials that vary in strength and have various different properties. They can all be destroyed in this technology called voxels. I won't go over all the technology in detail, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to talk about two materials just to give you an idea. One is rock. It's hard and can destroy things, but it's also brittle, so it smashes on impact to other objects. And the second type is dirt. This is malleable, can attach to other objects on impact. Same with sand, snow, and things like that. So, when Donkey Kong goes to punch a rock, it'll take a couple of hits versus dirt, which will break in one hit. Knowing this, we can start our first experiment, destroying absolutely everything on the first level of the game. I used everything at my disposal to make it easier for myself. Basically, Donkey Kong is able to punch and grab his way to destruction. But there's a couple of transformations that enable him to destroy things a lot quicker in the game world. With all of these abilities and transformations, it still took me about 2 hours to destroy almost everything in the game world. And it allowed me to get a full picture of what can and can't be destroyed in the game. My findings are, in terms of materials that can't be destroyed, there's basically two categories. One is anything that is shrouded in this purpley dark material. It's typically used for platforms that you can gain progress with. And the second one is the corrugated metal, which I like to refer to as the bones of a level. You can't destroy either of these at all. And that's pretty much the hard limit for the game. Everything else though is fair game. I want to quickly note though, I put so much effort into this for no reason whatsoever. I went through and destroyed absolutely everything in the first level of the game. It was a ton of fun, but I kind of went into this destruction-fueled haze that led me to do this. I didn't intend to do this at all, so oops. So, what are the other limits of this game then? Now that we know the bounds of destruction, which is almost everything, what about the limits of construction? This game affords us the ability to generate terrain almost everywhere, as well as build objects with this terrain using the dirt material. And the one thing I'm wondering is there any limit to what we can build? To start, I wanted to see where the limits of the building are, i.e., at what point does the game stop you building in the game world? First of all, I had to identify the best way to build. Best material for the job? Dirt and grass. These are malleable and attached to each other when thrown. Best method to do this, however, well, you can pick up materials around the world and place it down. But I had a better idea. Pauline! In co-op mode, she has the ability to shoot rock projectiles to hurt enemies and destroy objects. But she also has the ability to copy most of the materials and shoot them out as projectiles. So, if I were to copy dirt and shoot it, this would stick to other dirt that I'm building with. Pauline has about 8 shots available to her from one copied material. But, very importantly, she can copy the material she created. So, in theory, she can create as much dirt as we need to get to wherever we want to go. First experiment, building a tower to the top of the world. I started building a tower to go as high as possible from the first area of the game, climbing until we hit the building limit of the world. I partnered up in co-op with a friend and we began coordinating placing dirt, climbing, copying dirt, and continuing to climb until we hit the height limit of the world. This took about 5 minutes total, mostly due to the coordination needed to get to the top. I'd say if you learn to do this properly, it could be far quicker. As you can see here, you can't really build too high in the game. It maxes out a little bit above the nearest placed object in the game world. But we weren't finished there. Second experiment, building a walkway to the edge of the world. When you're on top of the world, it's much easier to actually move forward while placing terrain from Pauline. It's all a matter of timing and precision. It was difficult at first, but myself and my partner in crime had our timings down, and we were able to create serious progress to the edge. Once we hit that edge, shown here, we wanted to get a better picture of what else was possible, so we extended our walkway out in a couple of directions, just to see where the boundaries of the world are. How all of this seems to work is that there's a bounding box that exists around the world that has an absolute limit that you can't exceed. I think it looks something like this in the image shown. Dimensions may vary between levels, but this should give you a good idea. There doesn't seem to be a limit to how much terrain you can put down, so in theory, if someone were crazy enough, they could fill an entire level of dirt and create the ultimate Donkey Kong Bananza cube. But what are the limits of other things in this game? As you may not know, you can attach dirt to beings, platforms, and other enemies. So, what are the limits of these? Let's start with our little buddies, the Fractones. These cute little guys can be endlessly destroyed, but you can also add dirt to them to make them grow. And it's got me wondering, how big can these guys get? As you can see here, I use my little test subject Fractone to throw as much dirt in them as possible. And yes, there is a limit. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. But you are able to turn these little guys into a gigantic cube. They seem to have a similar bounding box to that of the worlds that I just talked about a moment ago. Not all objects in Fractones are the same, however. Some have a larger bounding box than others. Think of the little giraffe Fractones. They have a much bigger bounding box than, say, the little blue Fractones. What I also wanted to find out is what about other objects in the game? There's a few other moving objects, characters, and enemies throughout the game world, but through testing, they all followed the same rule set to that of the Fractones, i.e., they all have their own small bounding box that they can't exceed. I was honestly quite disheartened by this. What I really wanted to find out from this video was that if it was possible to create an entire plot of land on top of a Fractone. I thought that would be really cool, but unfortunately, the Nintendo developers have outdone me here and beaten me in my little quality assurance job. So, great job Nintendo, I hate you. Other small observations that I've made that could each have their own elongated video. I'm going to start off with Peekabooboids. These little guys kind of camouflage themselves as objects and other terrain and stuff like that. When you get close to them, they burst out of their camouflage and come attack you. Enemies tend to spawn really often in this game, so while I was filming this video, I actually noticed that there doesn't seem to be an upper limit to how many Peekabooboids can spawn. As you can see here, I spawned a lot. I'm pretty sure there's a way to actually crash the game spawning way too many of these, because there definitely was a performance hit while I was doing my testing. So if someone wanted to go find out the limit of that, that'd be pretty cool. This other cool thing I noticed was that the Rambi race on the racing layer can be almost entirely bypassed. You have this little jetpack on Rambi that enables you to fly upwards, and you can essentially fly over the entire level straight to the finish line and get insane times doing so. So yeah, make of that what you will. I thought that'd be pretty cool to let you know about. Nintendo absolutely cooked it with this game engine. It's insane how much thought and attention to detail they've put into this engine. Donkey Kong Bananza is a real gem of a game. If you ever have the opportunity to get a Switch 2, I definitely recommend picking up this title. If you want to see more cool videos, just remember to like and subscribe. It'll be super appreciated and it helps me out so much. But until next time, bye bye.